We are live. Thank you for joining us. Please share this broadcast with your friends and networks now. Welcome to We the World's International Women's Day events, celebrating women's achievements, calling for a more gender equal world. Today we have two back-to-back extraordinary events. First, our Women's Leadership Roundtable featuring 6 amazing women: Sande Hart, Dr. Marty Casey, Aurora Pagonis, Reverend Sylvia Sumter, Heidi Little, and Sharon Ria. Then, after a few minutes break, we will have a sacred conversation for women led by Aurora Pagonis. It will be happening on Zoom at 6:45 Eastern Time, that's USA Eastern Time, right after this roundtable. And if you'd like to join the sacred conversation, send an email now to sacredconversations@wetheworld.org. An angel will send you a Zoom link. That email address again is sacredconversations@wetheworld.org. My name is Rick Ulfik, and I'm the founder of We the World and the We campaign at we.net. And these events today are being offered as part of We the World's campaign for women, and not just women, women and all of women's allies. You can find out more about all of We the World's campaigns by going to we.net. Let's bring in my co-host, Karen Palmer. Karen is a spokesperson, live stream, and social media expert, and she coordinates We the World's campaign for women. Welcome to the broadcast, Karen Palmer.
Thank you, Rick. I wanted to share a quick quote from the Dalai Lama to start this beautiful circle of amazing, beautiful women who are being incredible, loving leaders and really leading from their hearts. So this is what the Dalai Lama has to say. He says, "I believe that women are more empathetic and sensitive to the feelings of others. Therefore, I feel if more of our leaders were women, the world would be a more peaceful and understanding place." That's why we're doing this show. That's why we wanted to do this wonderful roundtable with these amazing women, to give a voice to women and girls, to allies, and to families all over the world. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to be together in circle.
Hey, so let's bring in Sande Hart. Sande Hart is president of S.A.R.A.H, which is an acronym and stands for the Spiritual and Religious Alliance for Hope. And she is also founder of the General Congress of Women, a flagship program of S.A.R.A.H. She is committed to accelerating solutions in order to advance a culture of balance. Welcome to the broadcast, Sande Hart.
Thank you, Rick and Karen and my sisters here. It's really an honor to be with you. And here again with you, Rick, after all these years.
Yes, it's been a while, right? It's been a while since we've seen each other, and we've been doing things together for many years.
Yeah.
Exactly. So any reactions to the quote? And of course, please let people know what you're doing to accelerate society's motion towards achieving gender balance and equity.
Well, I really appreciate that. And Karen, thank you for that, for reminding us of the Dalai Lama's words. Yeah, I do really believe that it's more than the gender woman, I think, that needs to emerge right now. I think that it's really important that we honor our divine feminine, both men and women. I think that's what's really emerging now. Yeah, I think that in order for that to happen, not only do we have to do away with patriarchy, we have to replace it with systems of care and caregiving, of sacred economy, we have to be aware of our circle principles, basically. How are we how are we giving voice and listening carefully with one another, and recognizing, and this is what I love about is our recognizing our interdependence and our interrelated nature on everything we do. And so, and that's really what the General Congress of Women is about. The General Congress of Women is about convening in this way that really honors those four, what we call them, our essential elements, to make sure that they're present in all of our work. And yeah, so I have an awful lot to say about that. And also, where's our shadow? You know, Rihanna Eisler, you know, a mutual friend of mine and Rick's, it's a real honor to say, she calls it the domination trance, that we're all walking around in this, you know, part of the system that's not doing so well for women. And also Jean Shinoda Bolen, in her book, Like a Tree, she says, well, first she says it's really not the common understanding is it's not a good time to be a woman or a tree. But if, like maybe all of us have benefited from the equal rights movement and the suffragists before that, then we know it's a really good time, because we really do have the power. And there's this emerging new consciousness that when you empower women, that you are, and when women step into that power with grace and in that divine feminine energy, and really looking at this for, which we have the audacity to think are the essential elements, then humanity and all the natural world has a fighting chance. And the last thing I'll say, because I think I'm running up on my time, is, and the voice of women, giving voice to women and to girls, and also to learning our voice and learning what needs to be said. And also that requires really important listening. And I'm just going to end with something that a very dear friend of mine, Karumba Regera, shared. And this is an African proverb that says, until the lion learns to write, the glory goes to the hunter. So how are we writing? How are we using our voice? How are we using our power? And how are we showing up in the world? What are we buying? What are we voting for? What are our actions doing to the planet and to everyone else around us? So I want to thank you for this space. And I'll just stop on that for now.
Thank you, Sande. And it makes me think also of that quote, if you want to change the story, change the narrator.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, exactly. I just heard that. I think it was on your call with Poor People's Campaign.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great program. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's bring in Dr. Marty Casey. Dr. Marty K. Casey is the owner of a trauma-informed business. Let me change the screen here. A trauma-informed business called UnGUN Institute. And we'll hear more about that from her. Her motto is hurt people, hurt people. Healed people, heal people. Welcome to the broadcast, Dr. Marty K. Casey.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you, Karen, for inviting all of us to be here on the platform today. And of course, I just want to stop and wish all women, not just those who are here and listening, but happy International Women's Month and Day. So thank you all. Yes, my trauma business, UnGUN Institute, Rick, the quote that you just read, I deeply believe in that. As long as we continue to sit in a place of hurt, we will continue to hurt others. Once we decide to make the choice and the decision that I want to do better because I now know better, so I am going to make sure that I get the healing that I need, then that's what I give back. And I believe that can fit in the conversation of when we're talking about women equality. I believe that the first thing we need to understand that it is a right, it's a human right for us to have the same equality as women on this earth as men and every aspect of breathing nature. It's a right, it's a human right. I believe that when we put women in positions where we can be in a place to make a difference, we will make a difference. Not only am I working on healing the space for us, I am also working on empowering the space for women. And how do you do that? You have to sit in a place of power. And how do you do that? You got to show up, you got to speak up, and you have to do things that sometimes even you're afraid of, or you may not even be prepared for. So I can sit here all day with all of us and we could talk about all of the things that we know it could use a little help, like equaling the pay. When I know that a white man is receiving $1 for every $1 that he receives, I'm receiving 54 cents. We can clearly see that there's something wrong with that, right? However, I'd rather sit here and use this time to speak about solutions. So one of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm preparing to walk into a position as I'm preparing to choose my exploratory team to run for Missouri Senate seat. I want to tell you right now, I'm not a politician. I'm a humanitician. And I'm not just a humanitician, I am a Black woman humanitician. But as I walk into that place to sit in a powerful position, I have to go in understanding my purpose. My purpose is to go in so that I can make it fair and comfortable for all, not just Black women, not just for Missouri, but for all. Because again, I started this by saying, being a woman, it is also a human right. And if I'm asking you to value my rights, I also have to value yours. And so I'm appreciative of being here tonight. I hope that I have shared something that could lend a positive platform that we all can continue to build on. If I add a brick, I just ask that you come and add one on top of mine, and someone else come and add one on top of that. And that is how we build the village back up. And that is how we get to a place of equal rights for all. Thank you.
That's fabulous, and congratulations on making that announcement today, here and now. I think you heard that quote that I remember hearing a few years ago. A woman's place is in the House and the Senate. Right?
I have. I thought you were just going to leave it at the House, Rick.
No.
But yes, as that is exactly right. The White House, the Senate, our house, every house that has been built on this earth, we have a right to be there equally, adding to building the brick by brick. Thank you.
Right, exactly. So let's bring in Aurora next. Aurora Pagonis is the founder of She Speaks, which is dedicated to the awakening and embodiment of the feminine intelligent principle in leadership. And Aurora will be leading the sacred conversation that we're going to have immediately after this roundtable. And remember, if you want to join the sacred conversation, it'll be starting at 6:45 Eastern Time, USA, and send an email now to sacredconversations@wetheworld.org if you want to join that, and then you will receive the Zoom link. Welcome to the broadcast, Aurora Pagonis.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you, Karen, and to all of the incredible women also in this group on this platform, and happy International Women's Day to all. I feel really excited. I'm tuning into each of you and tuning in here from the future. I'm sitting on the east coast of Australia, a day ahead, so I'm extending my International Women's Day in the most beautiful way. And where I want to enter this conversation that is already feeling so rich and palpable and potent is that I feel that something needs to occur around what we're valuing and turning our attention to what is valuable. Because in that understanding of what is valuable, we start to shift the game. So we start to shift the game of recognizing that what is valuable are a lot of the qualities that I'm going to name as the feminine intelligent principles. The qualities of integrity, the qualities of compassion, the qualities of unity, which is what we're also leaning into today, the qualities of heart intelligence, intuition, and of course, courage. It's already coming through in your voices. And the opportunity to take personal responsibility. And when I start to speak into valuing the feminine intelligent principle, this is awakening in men and women and children. And so for me, this conversation is the invitation for us as women to remember and to be in the safe spaces and containers to be able to reactivate and ignite these potent qualities that live within us. I do this because it's palpable. It's, you know, it's like an activation that happens in our cells. It's almost like I can feel it in my fingertips. And yet these qualities are awakening in our men. And so in the willingness for us to step forward, even in a place of courage, in the places where it is scary, but the places that are unknown, which is one of the other ways that we work in the feminine principle, just the next step, following that impulse that is moving us forward. In the willingness to start to embody these qualities and step into more wholeness, we can start to lead in new ways. And I do believe that this leadership is now absolutely important for us in our leadership as women, in our leadership as men, to be modeling a new way. Because as we're going through the breakthrough in all sectors, there's an opportunity, or the breakdown as such, through all sectors, we have this opportunity to break through and to break through into the solutions that matter. So I absolutely see a new place for women at the table in business, in relationship, and it really starts with us. So I just wanted to send a huge thank you and appreciation for those who are taking the courage and who are stepping forward, every woman on this screen, recognizing not only the empowerment qualities, but also recognizing the struggles and the difficulties that we continue to move through together. And I just want to finalize by saying, having sacred conversations, and this is one of them, you know, a place where we can actually capture the intelligence that becomes available when we come together through our hearts, through our knowing, through our experience, and start to not only claim what is needed, but to start to vision into the new. So I really appreciate being here. Happy International Women's Day, everybody. I've got lots of roses out. I wish I could give one to each of you, and sending so much love. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Okay, let's bring in Reverend Sylvia. Reverend Sylvia Sumter serves as the Senior Minister of Unity of Washington, D.C., and she is the founder of Stand Up for Humanity, a movement promoting the honoring of all people and creating a world that works for all. Welcome to the broadcast, Reverend Sylvia. Reverend Sylvia Sumter.
Thank you so much, Rick, and thank you for the invitation, and thank you, Karen. It's so good to see you and all of my other wonderful sisters. I'm honored to be here with you. And I was just thinking, you know, when I speak of Stand Up for Humanity, that we can no longer have the mindset that humanity consists just of one gender. That if we're going to stand up, humanity is all people, all races, but especially we need to talk about women being seen as the sacred part of humanity, the heart of humanity. And I gave a talk on Sunday. I called it the softer side of life, because I think what we are experiencing right now is the result of perhaps an overly dominant patriarchal society that has had dominance and aggression and as a forefront. And I wanted to make the distinction between women as sacred containers for the seeds of life. That's what we are. We are the containers that carry and hold and nurture the seeds that move forth into life. That's what we do physically with our bodies, but we also do it metaphysically with our heart and with our soul. And therefore, I think there's a new paradigm that has to happen. And the old paradigm that was attributed to women when we got labeled the weaker sex, right, was because the value of, and the only distinction I say that really makes us different, other than physical distinctions between men and women, but the distinction is men is in the term of strength. Men have physical strength. We might not be able to match that, but as a result of that one distinction, a whole motif, a whole consciousness was built around women being the weaker sex. And what I said, what we are experiencing right now is the world is calling for the softer side of life. And when I mean softer, I do not mean weaker. I mean softer, which means we have more the side where we have compassion. There's kindness, there's the skill for empathy, there's the ability to relate, to bring people into the heart that has a sense of love and understanding and relationship. So that to me is the softer side. And when we acknowledge women and the power that we hold as containers for life itself, that we will go forth and create a world that works for all, including women, including young girls, as well as young boys and men. So I'm excited that that life itself is calling for our presence. You know, we've all been home. We've all had to relate to one another. We've had to find ways to make the home a place now where all can be recognized. Before we had room to go, and but we're present to one another. So this is our time, and I'm excited to be alive at this time, because I know that we're in this dawning of this new era where it's the divine feminine's time to take leadership, to take ownership, and to move life forward. Because if we do not do this at this point in time, life will not be as we know it on the planet. So it's our moment. And I think every one of us has an opportunity to stand up for humanity, which means we stand up for ourselves as women. We speak. Whenever we see injustice, we speak. You know, the women, I think it was Dr. Marty who said it's the voice. We must give voice to our presence. So this is an exciting time. I'm delighted to be on the planet and to nurture the sacred containers and the sacred seeds that we hold, and to have our voices and our presence known and felt. So whatever I can do to support any woman on the planet, I stand ready to do so.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Reverend Sylvia. Next is Heidi Little. Heidi Little is the director of the Center for Advancement in Social Emotional Learning. She is an accomplished musical artist, co-founder of International Children's Month and World, and she is coordinator of We the World's campaign for children and youth. Welcome to the broadcast, Heidi Little.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much to everyone who has come before me and in this room and before us in history. We are standing on the shoulders of brave, courageous, beautiful, multicolored, talented, and faceted individuals who embodied at different times to create different things. And here we are as water on a water planet. And our Mother Earth is in need of us as well, showing up here. And I was just really feeling into my womb, honestly, and I've had 3 children myself. So just really feeling that space of fluidity and flow. And I would encourage everyone to connect with their heart. And that is the place where the change begins. That is where the power to upsurb, unearth, become, glitter, grow, flow, and flourish into whatever it is you came here to do. And your purpose and your mission here is astounding and beautiful. And I'm so honored to be here with you at this time when there's so much going on. There's so much growing on. And, you know, we have these young boys and we have these middle men and we have aged men and we have LGBTQ plus and we have young women and children, and they're looking to see the models and they want to see the models. They know, they came here knowing, we all came here knowing in some way. It's like, okay, how much love can we embody and then come together as love in action? And Sandy said, showing up. I love it. How are you showing up in the world? And if you're afraid, don't forget that can really be the same thing as excited. And to be excited is usually like, oh, no, no, you're too loud. Don't be so loud, right? When we're children, you're excited, settle down, settle down. But these are the times we came for, and they deserve and require a little bit more than, oh, just shh, settle down, right? They require that. Oh my gosh, I am totally afraid to speak out. But guess what? If I speak out, I might recognize all these other people and sisters with me who feel the same way and speak the same language. And then we have this community and we have this amazing future that we're building together. So I love you and I thank you and I respect you and I hold you on the highest regard, and I know what we're going to do. I feel it in my cells, what is happening and where we are growing. And blessings to y'all. I am just in love with my ladies here in this room and all over the world, and anyone who identifies with that, you know, with that way, with that feeling, with that flow. And the men are stepping up. They are stepping up. They are becoming better and better every day. And those men will help the other men who need a little more support, right?
Yep.
So let's the modeling, right? Go for it, Rick.
As you always say, here we grow.
Yes, it's true.
Here we grow.
Cozy and comfy, and then something comes in, and here it is. It's the next thing. Oh, time to up level again. Okay, fair enough. You know, it's good to be. I was thinking about how different shades and how we are capable as women of shifting. You know, you've got to put somebody in line over here, but yeah, and here you're showing up as who you are in your work and your company and your life, right? So we get to be shapeshifters and we get to embody what needs to be embodied in the moment, which is a beautiful thing.
Yep. Thank you, Heidi Little.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, next is Sharon Ria. And Sharon Ria founded the global movement No Judgment, Just Love. She created Comfy Couch Conversations, and she coordinates We the World's campaign for unity. Welcome to the broadcast, Sharon Ria.
Hello, everybody, all female women, powerful souls. Sometimes I get unaware or I just don't remember how much of a privilege it is, because many of these faces are my friends. And I'm with you so much. I never, ever want to forget the honor of how well we speak ourselves into being and then carry and bring other people with us. And I feel like a gardener in this beautiful garden of women, because I have uncovered what my purpose is, what my passion is for being here in this world as a Black woman in this particular body. And that is to cultivate self-love first so that I can help others cultivate love within themselves. I feel like I am harvesting the fruits of all the people by allowing them to sit on this comfy couch of no judgment, just love, especially the women, for generations who have not had a voice. And when they had a voice, it was shut down. And whenever your voice is shut down, somebody's going to fill the spot. And so the spot got filled. But even if we know now to speak, there is an opportunity to sit back and cultivate your own love for yourself. Fill your own holes. Find your own places of healing, as Dr. Marty says. Because when you speak from that solid, peaceful, grounded foundation, Your voice does not need to be loud. Your voice can be in the Senate. Your voice can be in a family. Your voice can be just opening the door to the store and greeting someone from that powerful, grounded female place. I've lived this, I teach it, I coach it, and what I have found is women are ready to unleash the hurt, the pain, the anguish of not being seen and heard. And it literally takes a moment for someone to look at them through all of that and see that they are magnificent. Treat and speak to them from that space.
Sharon, can you share a little bit about the work that you've done with the women in prison? Because I think that that's a really important thing for us to be exploring and hearing more about and hopefully expanding.
Yes, and prison is not only a physical place where these beautiful women that I got to speak to about loving themselves, something happened to them, but they are still the magnificent person underneath all of those things that happened. I walked into that room with 24 women, all dressed in orange from head to toe, having different levels of anger, sadness, concern, confusion on their face. And I just filled the room with love. Talk to them about no judgment, just love, where they can find forgiveness for themselves and thereby stand up and be just who they are. And in one afternoon, these hardened women came in the next day hugging each other, came in the next day telling stories that you really don't want to hear. And they just felt proud to talk about what had happened to them and how they are recovering. And then I invited them, which they just totally embraced, to reintroduce themselves to their family. This is who I was. This is who I am becoming. Hello, let's start again.
Wow. Incredible, right? Thank you, Sharon. And we're just about out of time. Karen, would you like to bring it all together and help us launch from this to the sacred conversation that we're going to have after we take about a 10 or 15-minute break? But I don't know if I mentioned before, Karen Palmer, our host, is a spokesperson, live stream, and social media expert, and she coordinates We the World's campaign for women. So take it away, Karen.
Well, as we have seen today, it is an incredible, what Heidi said about us being on the shoulders of these amazing, amazing, beautiful humans who have been guiding us from the other side and helping us to really hear how we can co-create a world that does work for all of us. Rick has been such an incredible ally and friend and you know, companion on this journey. And as we are growing, as We the World is expanding, we are considering our women campaign to include allies and families. So we will be expanding and inviting everyone who would like to join us. We want to create the web of love. A web is where everyone belongs. And that is what we, as a wonderful platform that we have growing now, the amazing Aurora Pagonis has offered to help us with our sacred conversations. And how do we start to really move in this direction of equal everywhere? I love that hashtag, equal everywhere. Use that hashtag in everything you do, because this is what we do when we love a dream into this reality. When we have a vision that's placed in our heart, something so big and so beautiful, and something that seems absolutely crazy to most of our families and most of our friends. But we know that there's something bigger going on than what we can actually even verbalize. So what we do is we find people like this and we get in circle and we start talking about, here's my gifts and what are your gifts? And when we put our gifts together, we have everything. And I love that. I love Desmond Tutu says that as a beautiful quote, as one of our beautiful members of We the World. So we'll be moving into an amazing experience with Aurora leading us in sacred conversations. So we encourage everyone to join at Sacred Conversations at wetheworld.org. This is actually to women today because we wanted to do this in a sacred space for just women for this time. But as we grow, as beautiful Heidi says, here we grow, and as we grow, I will be doing a monthly meeting with allies, with families, with other women leaders, and we will be discussing how do we co-create a world that works for all of us? How do we use our voices to get louder and more courageous and more audacious, as Sandy beautifully put it, to actually live in a world that works for all of us, a world where all living beings are considered equal, respected, and have dignity. This is the world that We the World envisions. And this is the world that all these beautiful women in this circle have been working tirelessly for years and years. We've all been in this circle for years and years. But now it's like Marty said, we are moving into the places where we can be heard and we can be a voice for those girls, those little girls and those little boys that don't have a voice. And we can be the ones who are the model to help them find their authentic voice and then share it globally. I love what Heidi does with the youth and the children, and you know, the work that she does with the amazing youth that are coming up, and they are so strong and they know how to use technology in ways that this generation and generations before didn't know how to do, and they know how to really collaborate like we've never seen before. So it's really an exciting time. So I invite everyone, I hope we'll continue this. I hope all of you women will join us in this sacred conversation. And we will move into at 3:45, 6:45 Eastern to have this wonderful experience together. This is going to be an incredible opportunity that we will have once a month. Aurora will be offering this through We the World. She's such an incredible, beautiful soul leader. She really embodies the essence of truth and integrity. And when I'm in her presence, I feel more confident in my own words. So I'm excited to be in sacred conversation with her. Thank you, Aurora. Would you like to say a couple words?
Yeah, I feel like we've already started weaving a lot of the conversation that will be continuing already in the space. And what I love is the palpable intelligence that's already in the center. And we've only really just begun. And I just want to say that, you know, one of the things that feels really, really important for me right now is calling in women like each of you to come together into a new conversation. Because just as there's an invitation for women to embody and step more into the divine feminine principles, many of us are women who have already been expressing in some form of leadership, in some form of spiritual expression, really connected to our purpose. There's something new also moving in us, through us now. And it's my understanding and belief that until we come into this collective intelligence through conversation, being able to capture that intelligence doesn't become available. So the invitation for us, wherever we are in our leadership journey as women, in our influencing journey, I know, and we'll speak to this a little bit, some women don't like the word leadership, there's still a lot of connotations around that to come in and come into the space and drop in together. Thank you, beautiful Karen.
All right. So let's exit this, and we will meet many of you on the Sacred Conversation. And remember, if you want to join this, right now send that email to sacredconversations@wetheworld.org. And also, if you want to join one of these Sacred Conversations in the future as well, we'll put you on the list. So we're going to reconvene on Zoom now. And one last thing, if you want to learn more about We the World, just go to we.net. Thank you and bye-bye.